Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 357 based on novel. So let's start. How could the guys from the Soul Palace appear here? For a time, as the black fog of the Soul Palace filled the entire square, it was completely bound and became an area that could only be entered but not exited. Lin Qingwen and Lin Qingyun's expressions changed together. Hard to look. Although the power of the Soul Palace is not comparable to that of the Holy See, it is better than the fact that its whereabouts are uncertain, and it is extremely mysterious. Even some high-level officials of the Holy See do not know what the Soul Clan of the Soul Palace is planning. However, the little Soul Palace can run rampant in the Great Thousand World. I am afraid there is some force behind it, otherwise this kind of guy like the Soul Palace has already been completely obliterated by the Holy See. The fifth believer. Let's die. The Black Mist Man just appeared, bathed in the black mist, without any intention of keeping his hand, and roared directly. On the other hand, Xiao Yan and the others were directly bound by him, so they could only watch quietly. The rope of light. Looking at the menacing black mist man, the corner of the Holy See old man's mouth wriggled slightly, and in an instant, a beam of dawn burst out from above his body and shot towards the black mist. Crash. The strange black mist was affected by such a white and pure dawn, and it became trembling for a while. After the blink of an eye, the black mist was completely purified by the light of the dawn, revealing the true face of the strong man in the Soul Palace. At first glance, this guy's body is actually illusory. Above the illusory soul body, a black robe is lightly covered. Above the soul body, there is an extremely terrifying bloody, extremely rich smell, which makes people feel uncomfortable. Gagging. Soul Palace. It really is a soul body again. Seeing the true face of the guy in front of him, the old man of the Holy See became vigilant and said, "The Holy See has repeatedly sent strong men to attack and suppress the strong souls in the Soul Palace, but even if the strength of the two is very different, they cannot destroy the Soul Palace. Therefore, the Holy See is quite wary of the strong Soul Palace, because the two forces are now like enemies. Meet with red eyes. Wait until I capture you." After Shorenshi, the Soul Hall powerhouses disagreed. Above the illusory soul body, a dark cloud gently wriggled and emerged. Even under the riot of this strange force, the square, which had long been shrouded in black mist, was filled with an aura of awe. Humph. A mere soul body, dare to be so arrogant. Since you're here today, then you and Xiao Yang will join the Holy See to plead guilty. The old man of the Holy See said arrogantly. The black fog plummeted. After all, the power of the Soul Temple powerhouse itself was suppressed by the light element Do Qi. Soul burial. Listening to the disdainful tone of the old man in the Holy See, the eyes of the strong man in the Soul Palace suddenly turned scarlet. At that time, the blood cloud floating around his body became more and more inflated, like a mass that would explode at any time. General air mass. Crash. After a while, the blood cloud exploded directly, and a blood-colored blood shadow with a size of hundreds of feet stood beside the powerhouse in the Soul Palace. The blood shadow is like a human being, but the strange thing is that this guy does not have much intelligence. In the scarlet pupils, there is endless killing intent, staring gloomily at the Holy See, that kind of bloodthirsty killing intent, making people palpitate. Tear him up for me. Seeing the appearance of the blood-colored giant shadow, the Soul Palace powerhouse opened his mouth. Tear it. As if he had received an order, the blood-colored giant shadow raised his hands high, and then stepped on with heavy footsteps, spreading towards several people in the Holy See step by step. Every time he walked, he would be surrounded by this black fog. There was a special smell of blood in the square. Is it an evil creature constructed by a soul body? Dawn of light. Purification. With a cold snort, the old man of the Holy See smiled slightly, his clothes burst out with dazzling dawn, the corners of his mouth were wriggling, and the Sanskrit sounds were like gods, containing extremely sacred power, but in the display and singing, etc. When attacking tyrannically, his movements are also restricted. These guys. Xiao Yang, who was quietly lurking aside, looked at it slightly. It seemed that from the conversation between the two of them, there were some hidden secrets between the Holy See and the Soul Palace. My lord, these guys from the Soul Palace are probably the last lord's capable supporters. At this time, Lin Qingwen whispered to Xiao Yang. The third place. Xiao Yang said in surprise when he heard the words. Now that the royal election is imminent, there are three most authoritative candidates. Among them, the princess headed by a conservative group tries to continue the tradition of Qianxing continent, while the diehards headed by Prince Linfeng are willing to unite with the Holy See. waiting for the tyrannical forces to try to spread the power of the royal family of the Tianqing continent to the entire Dudi continent. As for the last one, Lin Qingwen seemed to hesitate. What happened to the last one? Xiao Yang also noticed something and muttered. The last one, named Lin Fengya, is a lame man, but this guy has always acted in a low-key manner, but his subordinates can conclude that this Soul Hall powerhouse is probably the foreign help he invited rode. If that's the case, then it's interesting. It seems that many strong people in the Tianling continent want to come and get a piece of the pie. Xiao Yang smiled slightly. Rotating, for a while, the core inscriptions that were condensed actually exceeded 50,000. Even this is not Xiao Yang's limit, the core inscriptions are still increasing, and an offensive full of flames and wood attributes rich vitality, quietly brewing from Xiao Yang's palm. Hey! With a sound, the blood-colored giant shadow that seemed to be invincible was rapidly dissolving and disintegrating under the attachment of countless light incantations. Death to this seat! Seeing this scene, the Soul Palace powerhouse was not surprised at all. Instead, a rare smile slowly appeared on the illusory soul body. It's not good. Using the light-based fighting skills, the blood-colored giant shadow was easily disintegrated, but what he didn't expect was that when the blood-colored giant shadow was about to be completely obliterated by himself, the blood-colored giant shadow instantly shattered. Countless ferocious-looking lonely ghosts emerged from the body of the blood-colored giant shadow, wailing and roaring, and then they looked at the strong man in the Soul Palace in horror. And go! Boom boom boom! The old man of the Holy See went all out to display light-based fighting skills, and naturally he didn't have the energy to resist others. It turned out that he was directly penetrated by countless lone ghosts, and each lone ghost penetrated his own body. The body will carry a pain that directly hits the soul. Teacher, my lord. Seeing that the leader of the Holy See old man suffered a big change, the other two Holy See powerhouses and Lin Qingyun shrank their pupils tightly and roared. Go away from this seat. Seeing the three of them spread out with all their might, the strong man in the Soul Palace immediately attacked and directly disintegrated the three men's offensive. Asshole! If you kill me, our Holy See will never let you go. At this moment, the elder of the Holy See also felt the threat of death. Ignoring the roar of the Holy See old man, the Soul Hall powerhouse raised his palm, surrounded by black energy, and directly pierced the Holy See old man's chest, holding a bright red heart in his hand. Crack! With a sound, it was suddenly crushed, and then the fifth-ranked believer in the Holy See fell directly. At the same time, thousands of miles away from Tianqing continent, there are some core places in Doyun continent. At this time, inside a magnificent ancient temple, the temple as a whole was quite large, and there were countless faint lights on the surrounding walls, and wisps of yellow light shone out. In the temple, many steps were densely covered. Above the steps are hundreds of faint soul light groups arranged in sequence. Under the steps of the temple, an old man closed his eyes and sat quietly. With a sound, one of the soul light groups on the steps suddenly swelled up, rippling like ripples, and instantly shattered. This is the soul light group of the fifth believer Yarsnail. After a while, the old man opened his eyes slightly, looked at the broken and disappeared soul light group at will, and immediately revealed what was recorded in it, but in this understated voice, there is actually a touch of mysterious power that is enough to make the world pale. Here is the core of the Holy See, the Church of Souls. Every strong person who serves in the Holy See must leave a trace of his soul power here at the moment of joining the Holy See. On the one hand, it is to detect the purity of the soul. If it is a dirty soul, it is impossible to join the Holy See. On the other hand, it is to better know the life and death of these powerhouses. After all, the Holy See is extremely protective of the short term. Once it is discovered who has obliterated the powerhouses in their Holy See, they will pursue them endlessly. The broken soul light group symbolizes complete death, and the dim soul light group is a serious injury. At this time, Yarsnail's soul light group is instantly broken, which proves that he has completely fallen. No matter it is a black soul, it is all destroyed by the murderer. Humph. I don't know who it is, who dares to kill our top officials of the Holy See. Buck, go and investigate, who did it. Remember, do whatever it takes. After a while, the eyes of the old man in red were blurred, and a majestic killing intent permeated. Yes, Lord Cardinal. As the old man's voice fell, a man in a gorgeous grey robe appeared out of thin air, and lightly agreed, and disappeared in the blink of an eye, and even the seemingly old-fashioned cardinal in front of him, his strength may have reached the realm of Tongxian. In Tianmu City. Sir. Seeing that the fifth believer Yasting was completely obliterated by the powerhouse in the Soul Palace in front of him, Lin Qingyun and the other two powerhouses accompanying the Holy See said with a very solemn expression. The two of them came here to answer the invitation of Master Lin Qingyun to solve the election of the Star Continent. Now they have been obliterated by the powerhouses of the Soul Palace. If this kind of thing spreads out, I am afraid. Where to run? Crushing Yasnael's heart into pieces, the Soul Hall powerhouse waved his hand, and a white light suddenly shot out from his shattered body towards the outside world. Susu, it feels so delicious. The mouth opened, and he was about to devour all the soul power of Yasmin, who was about to escape. At the same time, the power in the soul of the strong man soared in an instant. Many. You can't run away either. Looking at this scene, the Soul Palace strong man looked at the other Holy See powerhouses with his eyes closed, and the three of them had no chance to escape, and were easily obliterated by him. Lord Xiao Yang. At this moment, watching the tyrannical fifth believer Ya Sai Ding were directly obliterated by him, and then his soul was extracted and swallowed directly, Lin Qingwen's eyes showed a look of panic. If it wasn't for the Lord of the Palace who needed the holy flame and some things in your body, I'm afraid I would have devoured you directly today. The domain master of the endless fire domain is just a little trick. After doing all this, the powerhouse of the Soul Palace came to Xiao Yang with a smirk. I don't know where you are sacred to the Soul Palace. 12 souls. 5 soul guards. Xiao Yang's body is ready for a dazzling attack. Obviously, he must go all out in the face of this tyrannical Soul Palace powerhouse. Oh, how do you know so much? But it's a pity, I am an existence above them. If you have any last words, let's keep it until you see the Hall Master. During the speech, the soul body of the Soul Hall powerhouse slowly emerged a faint light, even a faint light. The black robe also burst out with a dazzling power of space. Space channel. But, it's too early to be happy to say this now. Acacia Flame Territory, Immortal Array. Seeing that the strong man in the Soul Palace was about to use the space channel to send a few of them back to the base camp of the Soul Palace, Xiao Yang did not hesitate, and suddenly made a move. For a time, a huge formation based on the pink field completely shrouded the entire square, and the imprisoning force of the extremely tyrannical flame breath rushed towards the face. Xiao Yang really wanted to visit the so-called Hall Master of the Soul Palace, but now his strength is weak, and the matter in the Tianqing continent is not over for the time being, so he can only take action at the last minute, otherwise once it is used by him, I am afraid it will destroy him. Many plans. 55,000 lines, that's not enough. Seeing that his whole body was enveloped in a tyrannical flame, Xiao Yang roared when he noticed the number of lines. It's not enough to deal with this 6-star Dozian perfection level soul temple powerhouse. 57,000 paths. 60,000. At the end, Xiao Yang's pupils became red, and his dazzling power raised his power to the peak. And these 60,000 core inscriptions are naturally the peak of Xiao Yang's first display after returning from the ghost world. Although it can't completely imprison the powerhouses of the Soul Palace, it is still enough to delay time. With the use of the swallowing flame technique, coupled with the increase in the Acacia Flame domain, Xiao Yang's strength was directly increased to the late stage of the 6-star Fighting Immortal. A powerful formation, but it won't imprison me for too long. How is that possible, in the late stage of 6-star Fighting Immortals? Before the smile in the mouth of the powerful Soul Hall, he could smell the tyrannical fluctuations in Xiao Yang's body. Dragon God's first change and third change. Fighting Soul. Under the cover of the formation, Xiao Yang was fully armed. The power of the late 6-star Fighting Immortal, coupled with the protection of the ghost of the Fighting Soul, and the increase in the first and third transformation of the Dragon God, Xiao Yang today can be said to be the strongest posture. With a sound, the seemingly tyrannical formation became shaky for a while. Obviously, even the combination of 60,000 core formation patterns and Xiao Yang's Acacia Flame domain is for a 6-star Dozian perfection level powerhouse, still not enough. After all, the power of the formation pattern, 10,000 paths corresponds to 1-star Dozian, and so on, but with the help of the cover of the formation, Xiao Yang finally adjusted himself to the peak state, and the power of the formation was also gently dissipated at the last moment. Wait, this is it. At the last moment, looking at Xiao Yang's back, an amber flame appeared gently like a blazing sun, but the soul body of the Soul Hall powerhouse burst out with panic. This level of flame fluctuation is not a holy flame, and the amber flame alone makes the Soul Palace strong like a great enemy. The vindictive energy in the body is continuously released, and the black mist is released from the body uncontrollably. Come out, obviously quite afraid of the amber flame. Since returning from the ghost world, it was the first time that he went all out to deal with the 6-star Fighting Immortal. Susu. It's no wonder that the 12 Soul Venerable and the 5 Soul Guards, as well as many strong men in the hall, are jointly guarded. With such strength and courage, I, Soul Wind, would like to show you what the great means of guarding the Soul Palace is." Seeing Xiao Yang's arrogant posture, the Soul Palace powerhouse suddenly laughed. "If you have any last words and means, just show it, otherwise, under the fire of holy flame, your dirty souls will only be turned to ashes." Xiao Yang stood in the pink lovesickness flame field, amber-colored. The flames completely shrouded his body, and he looked at Soul Wind Dao vigilantly. At this time, the strange black mist that appeared around Soul Wind, combined with the power of the 6-star Dozian perfection level, was like a ghost, exuding endless eerie aura. Immortal fire feather. Without any hesitation, Xiao Yang's body moved abruptly, and a trace of grey feathers was like a sword blade, blasting him away at a rapid speed. Soul Fiendish Thorn. Seeing Xiao Yang's domineering attack, Soul Wind raised his palm slightly, and countless black mists were easily condensed into a pitch-black stick. Countless dark lines appeared on the stick, as if it had been engraved. It's like a magic weapon with an evil aura. With a sound, Soul Feng waved the black stick in his hand, and energy ripples spread out like spring water. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang's attack was completely annihilated. Amber Rock Soul Fire. Xiao Yang didn't even think that with the power of the fighting soul, he could stop the Soul Wind. After a while, the amber flame burst out with an extremely hot and sacred wave, and under Xiao Yang's control, it directly turned into a head. The ferocious giant beast, staring at the Soul Wind with ferocious eyes, such a terrifying and tyrannical amber rock soul fire transformed into a giant beast, is enough to easily tear any 6-star fighting immortal. "Give me a stab." Looking at the ferocious beast transformed by the fire of the holy flame, Soul Wind's soul body became illusory, and a wave of depression filled his heart. After all, the fire of the holy flame is inherently sacred, and it naturally has an extremely tyrannical suppression for such a sinister power as the soul body. Boom! As the voice of the Soul Wind just fell, a dazzling black light erupted from the black stick in his hand, and the countless pitch-black lines slowly swayed like worms, and then it turned into a black light with a size of hundreds of feet, roaring away at the ferocious beast. "Oh!" Seeing this, the ferocious beast suddenly raised its head, and immediately let out a low roar, its voice filled with endless anger. "Give it to me," Xiao Yang said coldly. At the same time, the soul power in the body was being mobilized. At this moment, if the Buddha's wrath reincarnation is used, it will be enough to kill the Soul Wind, but unfortunately, the means of suppressing the bottom of the box cannot be exposed too much, so Xiao Yang wants to use the soul attack fighting skills and other means to completely kill it, because Xiao Yang perceives that the soul power of this Soul Wind has just entered the early stage of Taishu, and compared with himself, there is undoubtedly a lot of gap. Hey! The mysterious black light and the ferocious beast just collided, and the black light was immediately melted by the amber flame on the ferocious beast. I am afraid that it will not take a few breaths, and the black light will completely disintegrate. It seems that I can only use that thing. Looking at this scene, Soul Feng shook his head weakly. Obviously, he did not expect that the power of the holy flame on Xiao Yang would be so tyrannical. Less than the 15th ranked Shenyang. Crack! With a sound, the black light shattered, the amber flame on the ferocious beast's body was soaring, its body twisted, and it fluttered directly at the Soul Wind. Sacrificing the soul lock. Looking at the aggressive and ferocious beast, Soul Wind let out a low roar, and immediately a mouthful of blood spurted out from the corner of his mouth. It is strange to say that there is no human body, but only the Soul Wind in the state of the soul. The color of the blood is actually a strange color. Even when the blood is spewing out, the entire field is filled with a rather strange feeling. Strength. Heavenly Soul Chain, 10,000 people serve. In an instant, blood spurted out in a dark color, and a pitch-black chain with a size of 100 meters suddenly appeared in Xiao Yang's domain. Is the soul lock of life? Xiao Yang raised his head slightly, and suddenly muttered. Yu Ming Tian. Seeing the pitch-black chains that were as powerful as bamboos, attacking him with an irresistible erosive force, Xiao Yang let out a low roar, and the majestic soul force like the ocean swept out. A very strange sound of birdsong filled the entire acacia flame domain. Bang bang bang! The harsh sound of metal collision reverberated directly in the field, but the soul wind was still attacked by Xiao Yang's sudden soul attack. After a fight, the two were evenly matched, and they immediately retracted their respective attacks and stood silently aside, but Soul Wind knew vaguely that they would be unable to capture Xiao Yang today. Damn it! This guy's combat power is too terrifying. Seeing that Xiao Yang still had no intention of attacking, as if some terrifying offensive was still brewing, Soul Feng's face finally turned ugly. The attack method of the Soul Palace was originally designed to deal with the soul body. If it directly attacked humans, its combat power would undoubtedly drop a lot, not to mention Xiao Yang, who had the flame of holy flame, his own strength was even greater. Decrease in magnitude. Accept the sanctions. Eye of gaze. After Shun breathed, Xiao Yang's pupils turned into a deep color, and a more dazzling soul force roared directly at the soul wind. Soul power in the late stage of Taishu? How is it possible? Not good. Aware of this level of soul power, Soul Feng's pupils finally flashed a trace of fear, his body trembled, trying to escape from here. Amber behemoth, explode. Xiao Yang muttered as he watched Soul Wind prepare to escape. Suddenly, the ferocious beast exploded completely, and the power of amber holy flames blocked the water surrounding the acacia flame domain. www.fjelnovel.com natal soul lock, give me the lock. Seeing Xiao Yang so arrogant as a king, Soul Wind clearly realized that if he was hit by Xiao Yang's soul attack, plus the holy flame in his hands, it would be enough to truly obliterate himself. The dark wind and black mist continued to emerge from Soul Wind's body, and immediately roared towards Xiao Yang overwhelmingly, but unfortunately, Soul Wind's soul power has only just entered the early stage of Taishu, and it is far behind Xiao Yang. There are too many, so there is no suspense in this battle. Boom! The soul attack and the amber rock soul fire attacked together, and suddenly the once invincible Soul Wind was slowly destroyed, submerged under this destructive offensive. After a few minutes, calm was restored here. Lin Qingwen swallowed hard, looking at Xiao Yang as if he were looking at a monster. It's a pity, I didn't control the amber rock soul fire and soul interference fighting skills, and it was destroyed directly. I wanted to find out some information. Looking at Soul Wind, which was directly beaten by his own attack, Xiao Yang shook his head. Let's go directly to the Tianqing continent. After doing all this, Xiao Yang didn't stay too long, and stepped directly into the space passage, heading towards the Tianqing continent. However, this time, the Star Continent was a mixed bag. Not only did the three major factions compete, but also the Soul Palace, the Holy See and many other forces were introduced, which was quite complicated. This flame. Just after Xiao Yang and the others left, a man with a rather strange attire appeared on the square where they left like a ghost. His attire was like that of a monk but contained a touch of sacredness. From the perspective of his attire, it is not difficult to see that this guy is probably also a member of the Holy See. This high-ranking priest of the Holy See appeared in the place where Xiao Yang and the others had just fought, and immediately carefully checked all the clues in the space passage square. After all, the Holy See had some special tracking methods, so he easily sensed Yasnael. The land of the fall has now been traced and there are no traces. Only useful traces can be found, so as to return to life. Because a powerhouse of his level, if he rashly enters other continents, he will probably cause a lot of panic. Collect this flame, the bishops must know who the flame came from. While speaking, the guy who was sent by the cardinal to collect intelligence collected a rather faint amber flame and left immediately. Here, with this thing, with the power of the bishop, it is enough to track down the murderer who really wiped out Yasnael. At that time, with the power of their Holy See, it is enough to easily arrest the murderer. The other side. Bang bang bang. As Xiao Yang and the others left, they headed towards the Star Continent. The journey went smoothly. In a few days, they arrived at the core of the Star Continent. Tianqing Continent, it is said that in ancient times, it was a continent opened up by an almighty who mastered the power of stars. The power of stars was mysterious and unpredictable. After the death of this almighty, some human beings formed it in order to protect the mantle of this almighty. The royal family that guards the Tianqing Continent, but unfortunately under the rule of hundreds of generations of the Lin family in the Tianqing Continent, for some reason, the power of the stars has disappeared without a trace, but in this regard, on the Tianqing Continent, the wood attribute and some the research on the casting formation method is quite rich, and it can be regarded as a blessing and a curse. The Tianqing Continent is vast, no less than hundreds of continents and towns, and its core is naturally the Tianqing city where the Lin family stands. In Tianqing City, is the resident of the Tianqing Empire, and the Tianqing Empire is naturally the residence of the Lin family. In addition, Tianqing City has a huge territory and is located in the core of the Tianqing Continent. There are countless superpowers here, but no matter how powerful these superpowers are, they all follow the management of the Lin family of the Skystar Empire. After all, the overall strength of the Lin family is the strongest in the entire continent. If there is any unsightly force that tries to provoke them, they will end up waiting. I am afraid it will be quite bleak. Squeak. With a sound, Xiao Yang and his group slowly emerged from the space passage. Sir Lin, you're back. As soon as they emerged from the space passage, Several seemingly gentle young men were waiting at the exit with a smile on their faces, smiling. Well, how is Sky Star City recently? Lin Qingwen stepped out of the exit and immediately asked. Sir, it seems that it is quite quiet in the Star City today, and nothing seems to happen. The figure in charge of the space channel said. Let's go. Xiao Yan casually glanced away and found that this place was just on top of a mountain, apparently to isolate the space channel from Sky Star City. After all, if something happened to the space channel, it would easily affect the entire empire. Sir, please here. Lin Qingwen respectfully made a gesture of invitation to Xiao Yang, and immediately followed the mountain path towards Tianqing City. The exit of the space channel is naturally on a mountain top outside the city, and the sky here is equipped with a tyrannical forbidden power, so whether it is royal relatives or ordinary people, they can only walk on foot. This is also the Sky Star. Continental regulations since ancient times. Sir, in front of you is Tianqing City. A few people followed the trail down the mountain range, and Lin Qingwen immediately pointed to the huge city thousands of meters away in front of him and smiled. What a huge handwriting. I don't know if I don't see it. When I saw it, I was startled. Xiao Yang looked at it, and suddenly a look of horror filled his heart. This is not a city, it is clearly a huge territory. Because from the halfway up the mountain range here, there is a huge city of splendor and splendor. The territory of that level is probably no less than Xian, or even more tyrannical than Xian. In the city, dozens of mountain ranges have emerged, and around the mountains, exquisite buildings have emerged, and some people are coming and going, quite peaceful. Even in this huge city, there are countless lush green atmosphere and wood attributes, blowing in the face. Hee hee. Hearing Xiao Yang's appearance like this, Lin Qingwen and the others laughed and said, this Tianqing City is their pride. There is a lot of energy in the sky and the earth, and the combination of forest mountains and city buildings. These methods were created by the Tianqing continent. Go, the princess lives on the third mountain range. After Shurenshi, everyone left here and headed towards the mountain range. The other side. In Tianqing City, in a rather mysterious mountain manner, a beautiful shadow slowly stands here. His Royal Highness, Lord Lin Qingwen came back with Lord Xiao Yang. After the rest, a dark shadow emerged from the forest path breaking through the void. Understood, let's go down. Also keep an eye on the other two electors. If they have any action, let me know as soon as possible. Qian Ying turned her back and said softly, not knowing what she was thinking. Yes, Your Royal Highness. As soon as the voice fell, the shadow was disappearing, but the power brewing on the body of the shadow was heart-stopping. I am afraid it also reached 6-star Do Immortal level. Sister Lin, please go and invite Qingwen and the others. I'm worried that the other two guys will secretly use some means, and Xiao Yang's true identity should not be completely exposed. After a while, Qian Ying's wrist turned slightly, and the whole body was empty. In the degree of shaking, a middle-aged woman appeared gently. Well, but I'm still a little curious, can this Xiao Yang be able to hold the position of the Lord of the Endless Fire Territory? After all, it is also a huge force based on the Shenling continent. The young woman wondered. You'll know when you go. At this moment, Qian Ying smiled sweetly. My subordinates take orders. As soon as the words fell, the middle-aged woman also disappeared, and went to pick up Xiao Yang and a few people. Xiao Yang. I might have to use your help this time. Today's Tianqing City, open and secret intrigue is too sinister, and whether it's public or private, I must get this inheritance, otherwise my two brothers will appoint a meeting. The whole continent will be wiped out. After arranging everything, the beautiful girl's beautiful eyes flashed with determination and smiled. Qian Ying was dressed in a green princess dress, and her body was set off like a fairy from the dust. Her black hair fell like a waterfall, and even above her beautiful eyes, there was a touch of endless depth like the sea of stars, gently. Emerge. That is, the power of the stars, and this figure is Qin Xin who went to Shentian Santian Burning Incense Pavilion to study and cultivate. There are many forests, trees, and buildings in Tianqing City. From the outside, it turns out to be the same vast land that cannot be seen. Among them, the whole of Tianqing City is composed of 13 mountain ranges. The tops of the mountain ranges are each with their own quite prosperous urban buildings. These mountain ranges form their own stations, and the energy of heaven and earth is abundant. Within the mountain range, there are some nobles or families or forces that have made outstanding contributions to the entire Tianqing continent. Among them, 13 mountain ranges are ranked according to the intensity of the energy of heaven and earth, but the first 5 mountain ranges are all residences of the Lin family, and the 3rd to 5th mountain ranges are currently 3 candidates. The second mountain range is inhabited by the strong who control the order of the star continent. As for the first place, it is naturally the place where the lord of the star continent today, the emperor of the Lin family's royal family, Lin Jiyuan. Lin Jiyuan, the king of a country in the Tianqing continent, has a profound strength, and is a complete powerhouse of the 7 starfighting immortals. But I don't know why, this tyrannical emperor in the past has been getting worse and worse in recent years. Now he is terminally ill. He has searched for countless doctors and he is helpless. There are rumors that he did something that people and gods are angry with. It's just the secret, and I'm afraid only the core of the royal family knows. With Lin Jiyuan in such a situation, he was worried that the huge family fortune of the Lin family would be coveted by some unscrupulous people in the Tianqing continent, so he could only be a candidate. Among them, the 3 most promising princes and princesses were elected by many high-level officials. They are the 7th princess Lin Yunshu, who lives on the 3rd mountain range, the Tianyuan mountain range. This princess is elegant in nature and does not like to kill. She is the youngest among the descendants of the royal family. Her strength was mediocre at first, but since she returned from the Xianling continent, the mysterious and unpredictable power of the stars emerged in her body, and she was killed together. The Sky Star continent was surrounded by many high-level officials and became the most influential member of the 3 candidates. Because the entire Sky Star continent, there was only one person who could radiate the power of the stars, and the power of the stars, but with the Sky Star continent. Some unfathomable treasures are related. Just by virtue of this, the name of Her Royal Highness, the Princess, is well-deserved and has won the support of countless high-level officials. However, the other 2 electors also have their unique characteristics, so the 3 are deadlocked. The second is the 3rd prince, Prince Lin Feng, who lives in the 4th Lingshan mountain, the Tiansha Mountains. This guy is born ******, likes to kill, trying to spread the Tianqing continent and become the first overlord of the Dudi Sifang continent. Although this thought is arrogant, it has received the support of many diehards and military forces on the Star continent. Therefore, the military force mastered by this guy is the most tyrannical among the 3, but this guy is obviously unscrupulous in order to achieve his goals. Therefore, there are still many strong people hesitating. The last one, the eldest Prince Lin Fengya, who lives in the 5th Lingshan mountain, the Tianshan Mountains. Although this prince is a lame man, he is better than a high-ranking man. His good upbringing on weekdays has allowed him to do what he does. Many people's hearts and leisure time go to various places to appease the disaster, so the prince who is loved by many forces in the Tianqing continent. The 3 candidates each have their own advantages, and the king of the royal family has not completely announced who the biography is. For a time, the 3 are so quiet, and they keep pulling helpers secretly. If there is any change in the king of the royal family, I am afraid that they will be indifferent. Start without hesitation. And under this quietness, the countless forces in all the mountains of Tianqing city were quietly crawling like a harbinger before the storm came. As Xiao Yang and the others poured out of the space channel, they stepped into Tianqing city step by step, and walked towards the Tianyuan mountain range. At this time, the 4th mountain range was above the Tiansha mountain range. Tiansha mountains, although the energy of heaven and earth is also abundant, but because it contains a trace of evil spirit, it is hated by many strong people. After all, this kind of evil spirit is extremely difficult to purify. If it is absorbed for a long time, I am afraid it will turn into a monster that only knows how to kill. However, Lin Feng liked this kind of atmosphere very much. He took the initiative to resign and moved in. However, with Lin Feng's entry, the suffocating evil spirit above the Tiansha mountains has been greatly improved. I don't know how it was purified. The Tiansha mountains are surrounded by some trees. As for the top of the mountain, it is a huge city of dozens of miles. There are various market buildings in the city. This is also a common scene of the 13 mountain ranges. At this time, the top of the mountain ranged the huge city center, in the magnificent Golden Palace. His Royal Highness. At this time, a man who looked like a scholar gently knocked on the palace gate and said to the inside, "Come in." A faint voice came out. "How's it going?" As the scholar-like man entered the splendid palace, the man on the golden seat immediately asked lazily. The man has long blonde hair and a delicate face, which contains a touch of innate nobility. At this time, he leaned gently in front of the desk, quietly raised a simple scroll, and read it carefully, but his body was quite violent. His breath was quite incompatible with this refined breath. "Your Highness, the 7th princess has indeed sent someone to the Xianling continent. If it is not unexpected, I am afraid she will go to the Shenling continent to seek help. After all, the forces above the Haohai continent and Doyun continent are not helping the princess. She only has Shenling continent. The scholar man said softly, obviously this guy is in charge of external intelligence, and the intelligence of the other two candidates can't escape his eyesight. Recently, there has been a lot of rumors about the Shenling continent being attacked by foreign evil races. It is said that there is a guy with some strength who has completely unified the Shenling continent and established a force called Endless Fire Domain. Lin Feng putting down the scroll in his hand, he laughed. His voice was filled with ridicule. Obviously, the forces of the Endless Fire territory were too weak for him. Yes, and it seems that the person they invited is the powerhouse in the Endless Fire territory, the territory lord Xiao Yan, who is only in the middle stage of the 5-star fighting immortal. Go to the mountains. The scholar man said. Although the Endless Fire territory is not a threat, I still ask Lin Hai to meet that kid for a while. What I want is an absolute chance of winning. Lin Feng said with gloomy eyes and murderous intent. Yes. The scholar man agreed, and immediately went to work, but he didn't know why Lin Feng would send a 5-star fighting immortal perfection level powerhouse to encircle and suppress a mid-5-star fighting immortal guy. Before leaving, the scholar man also muttered, Lin Qingyun didn't go to Doyun continent to invite the Holy Sea powerhouse, why is there no news yet? Seventh sister, when I get the royal power, the power of the stars in your body will be taken out without hesitation as a brother. When the time comes, I will personally visit the relic of the founder's great power, Susu. However, that Lin Fengya is motionless, what is he doing? As the scholar left, the corner of this guy's mouth turned out to be filled with a frenzied smile. On the other hand, Lin Fengya is secretly colluding with the powerful souls such as Soul Palace. I am afraid that for a while, it is hard to say who will win this election. This video will end here.